Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Empowering Teachers, our summer edition. I am so happy that you've taken time out of your schedule to be here with me. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to dive into something a little bit different. We're talking self improvement, folks, because let's be honest, sometimes the biggest lessons we learn in this profession involve rediscovering our own sense of wonder and remembering why we fell in love with learning in the first place. Enter this wonderful book that I've been reading, and I've read it 3 times. It's called Becoming Better Grownups, Rediscovering What Matters and Remembering How to Fly by Brad Montague. Now, hold on, skeptical people in the back. This isn't some fluffy self help cliche. This book uses kids' perspective and the wisdom of elders to remind us grown ups grumps what it means truly to live a meaningful and joyful life. So think of this book as a pep talk delivered by a pint sized philosopher with the emotional maturity of Yoda. Are you intrigued? I am glad you are. Let's unpack why this book belongs on every teacher's nightstand. So, ladies and gentlemen, first, let's talk about it. Burnout is real. We all know it. Those days when lesson plans turn into existential dread and grading feels like a punishment from the grammar gods, this book reminds us of the power of approaching life with childlike curiosity. Remember that time your students saw a cloud shaped like a dinosaur and you spent the whole science lesson exploring constellation made out of candy? Yeah, that. Becoming better grown-ups encourages us to capture that sense of wonder and infuse it back into our classroom. It might mean ditching the dry textbook for a day and letting your imagination run wild. It might mean embracing silliness and laughter as a powerful learning tools. Remember, the students who light up at the prospect of learning are the ones that we inspire. So, for example, the book tells us a story about Montague visiting a classroom and asking the students, what would make school more awesome? One little girl piped up, more recess. Now, some teachers might scoff at that answer, but Montague uses it as a springboard for a bigger conversation. Maybe recess isn't just about blowing off steam. Maybe it's about fostering creativity and teamwork through unstructured play. Another student suggested having more opportunities to learn outside the classroom. That sparked a light bulb moment for Monte. Field trips aren't just fun excursions, they're a chance to bring textbook concepts to life in a real world setting. Second, this book tackles the fear that often holds us back, the fear of failure, the fear of not being good enough. We spend so much time worrying about standardized tests and perfect lesson plans that we forget the joy of learning, that learning is a journey, not a destination. Montague uses the metaphor of the incredible floating girl to illustrate how easily we lose sight of our potential. Let's face it, sometimes we get bogged down in the paperwork swamp and forget why we ever wanted to be teachers in the first place. This book reminds us that the ability to float, to be creative, to take risks, to embrace our inner child is what ignites a passion for learning in both ourselves and our students. Montague actually talks about a time when he felt completely disconnected from his students. He was stressed, overwhelmed, and going through the motions. But then, a simple act of kindness, taking the time to listen to a student's story about their favorite book, reignited his passion for teaching. It reminded him of the power of human connection in the classroom. And let's be honest, teachers, sometimes the biggest struggle is finding the time for self care. Between lesson planning, grading papers, and attending faculty meetings, it feels like there are never enough hours in the day. But becoming better grown-ups doesn't just tells us to prioritize self-care. It gives us practical tips on how to do it in the midst of the daily grind. For instance, the book talks about the importance of finding your joy spark. What ignites your passion outside of the classroom? Maybe it's painting, playing music, or spending time in nature. Whatever it is, Montague argues that carving out time for these activities can actually make you a better teacher. When you recharge and inspired, your enthusiasm becomes so contagious that nothing holds you back. The book also encourages us to embrace the power of saying no. We all want to be superheroes for our students, but constantly taking on extra work leads to burnout. Monte shares a story about a teacher who was constantly volunteering for additional committees. Once she learned to set boundaries and prioritize her own well being, she became a more effective educator in the classroom. Look, teachers, you can't pour from an empty cup. Becoming better grown-ups reminds us that taking care of ourselves is not a luxury, it's a necessity. It is the key to unlocking our full potential and becoming the kind of educators who truly inspire our students. But perhaps the most compelling reason to pick up this book is the stories. Montague interviews people of all ages, from wide eyed kindergartners to seasoned grandparents, about what makes a good life. One interviewee, a sprightly 92-year-old woman, shared her secret to happiness: finding joy in the simple things. She talked about the beauty of a sunrise, the warmth of a cup of tea, the laughter of children playing. It's a powerful reminder that happiness isn't about chasing grand achievements, it's about savoring the simple little moments. Another interview featured a young entrepreneur who stressed the importance of following your dreams, even when they seem impossible. He talked about the countless times he failed before finally achieving success. His story is a testament to the power of perseverance and the importance of holding on to your inner child's sense of wonder. These are just a few of the many gems you'll find in Becoming Better Grownups. It's a book that will make you laugh, cry, and most importantly, remember why you became a teacher in the first place. So ditch the next episode of your favorite reality show and pick up this book instead. I guarantee you, you won't regret it. So far this summer, I've read it twice, and every time I've read it, I've gotten inspired again and again. Feeling inspired? Head over to your local bookstore or online retailer to grab your copy of Becoming Better Grownups by Brad Montague. Trust me, it's an investment in yourself and your students that will pay dividends for years to come. Please send me an email and let me know how you felt about this podcast. And thank you once again for checking me out. And remember to continue to enjoy this beautiful summer. And remember to continue to be your wonderful selves, because you are important, you are special, you are needed. Take great care of yourself. Until next time, keep smiling.